Hello. This question asks for the placement of reinforcement in a retaining wall. Um, it needs a little bit of a structural engineering, which is included in the PE Geotechnical. So it's a good practice of both learning about the soil pressure and the structure of retaining wall. The question reads, a reinforced concrete cantilever retaining wall is being detailed for an 18-feet stem retaining granular backfill. 4 candidate cross-section details labeled A through D are shown in the figure. The 4 details differ only in 1. The face of the stem on which the primary flexural reinforcement is placed, and 2. Whether the heel reinforcement is at the top or at the bottom of the hill. And 3, the location and filtering of weep holes, which detail is drawn correctly. So to understand where to put the reinforcement, you need to understand what part of um, the concrete is experiencing tension. So if you have a section and it experience a moment in this way, it will deform, the top will get shorter and the bottom will get longer. Concretes are good at compression, but they crack under tension. And to not lose strength, we put reinforcement where we have tension. So the idea is to find where we have moment, what kind of moment do we have, what's the direction, and once we understand the direction of the moment, we can understand where do we have tension, and places that we have tension, we can put reinforcement. So we have a wall. Let's just simplify the diagram. A cantilever fall, and the main load on the wall is this horizontal force. The vertical part cancels out. You have forces acting on top and bottom of the hill, so we don't need to consider that. This part, how does the wall deform? You have, like any cantilever, you have this kind of deformation. So we know it's bending this way, and naturally, as we said here, the part that elongates needs to have reinforcement. So the reinforcement should be on the right side. It should be here. So between our option, we have option B and we have option C, that the reinforcement is toward the soil. And then this part, the 90 degrees stay the same, and then the soil will force it to go back. So the part that elongates is the top of the concrete. So between B and C, we have B, which the reinforcement is on the top section of the hill. So we already have option B as the correct option. But with regard to the filtering, we don't want to have poor pressure behind the wall, especially the bottom part, because this part causes the highest amount of lateral load. And if you remember, usually the coefficient of horizontal to vertical is around 0.3 for the soil, but for the water, the vertical and horizontal are the same. So you have 3 times more load caused by the water. So we rather not to have water at the bottom of the wall, and that's where we put the V-pulse. And that's another reason option B is correct. So if you have chosen option B, that's the right answer. And um, that's it for our class this week. I wish you best of luck studying, and I hope to see you next week. Bye. Main